Hey guys, what's going on? Mark here in the TST Garage with a tech tip episode today. Today's topic, we are going to be covering what happens when your brake light is always on. So we get this question a lot from customers. Sometimes they'll call us, and basically when they turn their bike on, just like this, the brake light is always on. It's just steadily on. There's no camera magic. I'm not touching the brakes. There's no fishing line, nothing. It's just on. And there's three root causes of this. We're going to go over the most common one. I am going to mention that another very common occurrence sometimes is if people are swapping out their master cylinders or their levers, sometimes they'll disconnect these pins on the front lever and then swap them. That would cause it. But if you haven't touched this, you've just installed a taillight and your brake light is always on, there's two other reasons. One, the wiring may be wrong, which 99% of the time isn't the case, at least when you shop with us, because we do put our lights through an extensive QC process. But the more common one is actually located behind your rear set. So we're gonna go ahead and show you the issue, show you how to correct it, and send you on your way. All right, so here we are with the right side rear set. I did take it off of the chassis just because it is easier to access and show you guys on video. On some models, it's not needed. On this model, it's actually not needed either, but I did take it off just to show you guys on video and make it a lot easier to understand. But when you come over to this right side rear set, you're gonna notice two things that pivot when you apply pressure to your rear brake lever. The first of which is actually the piston for your rear or your right side rear master cylinder. This is actually the unit that pushes the brake fluid through the braking system and applies pressure to stop your rear wheel. You don't want to touch those adjustment nuts. It is very easy to touch those. You don't want to mess with those. However, normally on the opposite side of that, there's a small spring that when you apply pressure, a little piston comes down from this brake micro switch. This is actually the unit that engages your brake light circuit for your rear brake. Now, there's this tiny little adjustment nut, and please note on every motorcycle, it may look slightly different. This isn't the same standard unit that's on every motorcycle, but it is the same process. And all you'll want to do is just adjust this tiny little nut. You can use a tool or sometimes use your hands until you find the right medium that actually turns the brake light off. Sometimes during just normal road vibrations, that can loosen up over time and just make it so that the brake light's always on, or sometimes the opposite where you're stomping on your rear brake and the brake light isn't turning on at all. So simply adjusting this tiny little nut on the brake micro switch will fix that issue. And we're gonna go ahead and actually show you that I did solve it. The brake light isn't turning on when I turn on the bike anymore, and you'll be all good to go. So here we are, I just performed that tiny little adjustment on the brake micro switch. And as you can see, I turned the bike on, the brake is no longer permanently engaged, and when I press my rear brake lever and my front brake lever, it now activates as normal. Please note, this is on this particular model with the OEM rear sets. If you do change your rear sets around, there is a chance that it will include a separate brake micro switch that you may have to wire up, or that it may reuse the OEM one. So just please keep that in mind. If you have changed your foot controls around, things might be different, but the overall ideology behind it will still be the same. You do have to make that tiny adjustment on the brake micro switch activation unit. As I mentioned earlier in the video, if you did change around your front controls, that could also be the cause of it. That's a really simple one. Just swap the pins around, you'll be good to go. And also the taillight being miswired, that's also a complete possibility. So just be sure to do proper troubleshooting, find out the root cause of it, solve it, you should be all good to go. As I mentioned in all of my videos, you do want to take this on a short ride around the block, around your neighborhood. Make sure that it didn't adjust itself back to the way it was. Make sure you are riding in a safe manner. You should be all good to go. Don't forget to like, subscribe, give us a thumbs up, leave your questions, comments, concerns below. And as always, this is Mark, TST. Catch you guys next time.